This past week, we spent time going over subject and object pronouns. Now, you know that a subject pronoun is used as the subject of the sentence. The subject is performing the action. So if you're not sure what the subject of the sentence is, look for the verb. Whatever is doing the action, the verb, is most likely going to be the subject. The object is what the action is happening to. So for example, I forgot my homework. I is the subject. Homework is the object. It's what the action, forgetting, is happening to. So I could replace, if I said myself, I would be the subject pronoun for who I am, and it would be the object pronoun for homework. Now, you don't want to get subject and object pronouns mixed up. There are certain pronouns that can only be used as subjects and ones that can only be used as objects. I, you, he, she, it, we, they are subject pronouns. And me, you, him, her, it, us, and them are object pronouns. The only two that are interchangeable are you and it. So, let's look at a couple examples. Blank decided to write a story about his gerbil. So first thing I'm going to do is find the verb. The verb is decided. So who decided to write a story about his gerbil? So you figure whatever is in a blank there would be the subject of the sentence. So it could be he, she, I, we, or they. Although he would probably be the best choice because it's writing about his gerbil. Although these other ones could work as well. If you notice, those are subject pronouns. Those are not object pronouns. I didn't say me decided to write a story. Him or her decided to write a story. Because it's the object, because it's the subject, you use subject pronouns. Things can get a little tricky sometimes because the verb is not always to the right of the subject. A great student is blank. Oh boy. The verb here is from the verb to be. So you would want to find the subject that would best fit in that blank. He or she. Does it sound a little awkward? A great student is he, a great student is she. It does, but again, the subject is not always to the left of the verb. Not always. Sometimes the subject can be to the right of the verb. A great student is he or she is a great student. The same meaning, just phrased a little bit differently. Now, here's one that's a little tougher. Mr. Flynn brought in pizza for the boys. Okay. What is the verb in a sentence? It's brought. So who brought in pizza for the boys? Mr. Flynn. That means Mr. Flynn is a subject. So could I say him brought in pizza? No, because him is an object pronoun. I would need to use one of the subject pronouns to replace Mr. Flynn because he's the subject. So he would be the best subject pronoun to replace Mr. Flynn. The verb is brought, so I put 2 underlines underneath that. Now the object of the sentence, what it's happening to, is the boys. That is the object, is what the brought in pizza for the boys. So they are the object of the sentence. Could I use one of the subject pronouns for that? Mr. Flynn brought in pizza for they. No, that wouldn't make sense because they is a subject pronoun. So if I'm replacing the object, I would need an object pronoun. Clearly, them would be the best choice to replace it. So, only replace the subjects of sentences with subject pronouns. Only replace the objects of the sentence with object pronouns. Although it may sound kind of funny sometimes, it may sound a little bit strange, if you're able to identify what the subject and object are correctly, the pronouns, even if they sound strange, will be correct.